All right, so welcome back. This is episode 5 of the podcast, and today we have a special edition with our first guest star, a good friend of mine here at Hopkins, and I'm going to let him introduce himself now.
What's up, everyone? My name's Ibrahim, also known as IB. Yoni told me to pop up, and I'm really excited to do this, and I think it's going to be a good conversation.
Yep. So we got IB in the building, and IB is on the e-board, I think, for BMI and MoCA, which at Hopkins stands for the Black Male Initiative and the Men of Color Hopkins Alliance. So, what has your experience been with BMI and MoCA?
Actually, I'm not on the e-board for BMI, but I've
Mm-hmm.
been a part of it for all 4 years. And I feel like the best thing about BMI was during our orientation week, it was just a space that brought all black men together. And like, especially coming to Hopkins, I know like one big thing for me was like, I really thought I was going to have like no friends or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So at least like all week knowing I had that community there, we had some good food, got to meet some new people that really like added to my experience to be like, all right, this might not be too bad.
Yeah.
Then in terms of Mocha, it was like a
Mm-hmm.
more similar setting. I was just randomly
Mm-hmm.
bored looking for food,
Yep.
and they had a mental health talk, and it was just talking about like really forming that community that you have, and like even though exams could be really tough, it's really important that you take the time out of your day to really check on yourself, do things you like to do,
Mm-hmm.
because you just drive yourself insane if you just like study all day and doing work.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that because I feel like Hopkins is definitely like, if you're not in your books, it's you like
It's
you're not going.
quiet.
Yeah, it's
It's
real
very true.
quiet. Definitely not at a party school, I'd say.
Yeah.
But I get that because I went to a PWI and like I low key wish I did more of that.
Hmm.
But like, you can't like you really can't do college alone. Like, and I feel like in PWIs and spaces where it's not really people that look like you, it's very easy for somebody to kind of get isolated. So I really do have like a lot of love and respect for clubs like that. You know.
Yeah.
What else would you say is like a big part of your identity? Because I know these clubs are more so focused on identity and who you are and where you come from. So, what else is there about IB that people listening may not know?
Yeah, I just picked up streaming again. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's a big part of my identity now.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, I always loved to stream. Like I would do like YouTube, but then I'd stop. Then like before I came to college, I was streaming too. But then being at a school like this, I stopped. But then it's just like you start to think like if you're just gonna work all day, like what are you doing it for? And like once I started to think about like what I was gonna do after school, like what I wanted to do in my free time, building hobbies, that's when it just made me want to pick up streaming again. So I feel like something part of my identity that I really like is streaming and forming those type of communities.
Mm-hmm. What would you usually stream on? Like what platform?
Twitch.
You want to plug the Twitch?
Yeah,
We can.
pull up IB buckets. We be lit late nights.
Yeah.
I've been slacking, but classes are done, so I'm gonna get back into it.
Mm-hmm. All summer. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Nah, cause content creation, like I could tell you, like starting this too, like that was something where like I just tried to put it off as long as I could,
Hmm.
and then it got to the point where I was just like, damn, like I can't even, like I at the end of the day, like I'm just running for myself.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of just gotta take that leap and really just get back into it.
Now I'm not gonna lie. That one conversation we had, Sam and VSC,
Mm-hmm.
when you was telling me you wanted to start, and I was telling you that I just started. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I knew once you get started, like you just gonna want to keep going and going and going. And
Yeah.
we're on episode 5 right now. I hope it goes to
Yeah.
like 1,000.
Yeah. Now shout out to him. He the reason I'm low key doing this because that conversation was something I thought about, and I think that was like one of the like big things like towards the end where I was like, am I really gonna just not do anything, or like am I actually gonna, like, am I gonna be all talk and not do anything, or
Hmm.
am I actually gonna follow through on it? But that conversation definitely was some inspo, you know.
For sure, I'm glad.
Yeah. What you usually be playing?
Man, I mean, we was playing when we was playing 2K. I was streaming that whole time,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I just started playing Cyberpunk. That game's a
Mm-hmm.
little crazy,
Yeah.
but I love playing like scary games. So like I've been playing Resident Evil, finished that, and then there's this new game called Arc Raiders that I've been playing a
I
lot.
think I low key heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that game's fire. If you have some time, you should definitely check it out.
Nah, it's tough. I can't lie. 2K has not seen me, and it hasn't seen me, and that's for a lot of reasons. Partly because it's 2K, but just because I got stuff that's been picking up.
Yeah. I kind of like, when I want to play the game, I like to like pick it up and just play games and have fun. I feel like 2K is fun, but it can get really competitive, and then when you start to lose, you don't even want to play them.
Nah, that's how it be, because like I'm a casual, you know, like I'm not terrible at games, but like I'm decent, you know, but I'm not like, I don't do this for a living, you know, like I'm a casual. But like when you hop on 2K, it's everybody's either a sweat or it's just pay to win. And like where I'm at now, I don't got the time or the finances to be investing into the game, so you know the matchmaking's terrible too.
Yeah.
So like I hop in there and it's just with a 99 overall. I'm quitting. I'm quitting.
Or even when we cook up, go like 2-game win streak, then the third game is
legend. It's
something crazy.
Legend. Yeah, nah, it's really 2K gotta fix the game, but yeah, it hasn't seen me for a bit for sure.
It's always the same story with 2K.
Same game every year, just rewrapped with a new number.
Now, what do you think about that though? Like, I feel like all sports games, like, there's always gonna be haters, or like the old heads, quote unquote, always gonna have their own things to say about the game.
I mean, like, for me, I'm a fan of the sports too, so I'm gonna get it either way. You know, like, I wouldn't say it's gotten terrible to the point where I wouldn't buy it, but like, it's really, there's no competition either. Like, it's either 2K or NBA Live. And like nobody's buying NBA Live.
Nah, they bringing it back. It's coming back.
Hopefully, maybe 2K will get it together. But like FIFA, like I like FIFA. It's cool. You know, I think part of the thing with games is that like technology gets better, gameplay's more realistic, because at the end of the day, people are gonna complain. Like you have people who would be like, "Oh, it's a video game. It's not supposed to be realistic." And then you got people on the other side where it's like, it's supposed to be realistic. What we doing? You can't make everybody happy.
Yeah, you can't make everyone happy at all.
Yeah. Nah. How would you say rediscovering streaming has been? Because you were saying that you used to do it when you were younger, kind of, you know, having like that joy in like playing the game again.
Yeah, like what was actually really funny about this is that like over the summer, like one of my mods that used to be in my chat just like randomly hit me up. And then they was just like, yo, like, how you doing, bro? Like, I used to miss you streaming all the time.
Yeah.
Then I'm over here telling him, like, yeah, I know, man. Like, it's good to hear from you. I just been OD busy. And he's just like, damn, like, you could even just hop on for, like, once in a while whenever you're free.
Yeah.
And I just sat there and I thought about that. And I was just like, to think that, like, something I was doing for so long, someone's going to hit me up, like, 4 years later and be like, yo, like, I mess with you enough and I would want to see you still streaming. Like, that feeling that it left me with, it just made me start to rethink like everything I'm doing, how I'm applying myself in all spaces. And I was just like, damn, that one person, even like 2 people, it's just like that impact that I'm having. If I could just keep streaming, who knows where it could have been, or if I would have stayed on that path, who knows where it would have been.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like you find love from people in like the most random times, like you don't even expect it. And that's something like I've been feeling too with this, because like when I started, I was like, it's just gonna be me talking into the mic. I'm just talking to myself. But I've had like people who like hit me up and they're like, yeah, you know, I really appreciate like what you're doing with the podcast. Like they enjoy it, and I really like. I can't lie, that means a lot more to me than like when you look at the numbers or the analytics. Because it's like, damn, it's not just me like talking to myself, like talking against the wall. Like it's doing something for people, and it kind of motivates you to keep doing it.
And not lose yourself. I feel like definitely when I look back at like other clips or videos I made in the past, I was just like, these are genuine moments right here. Like I'm not faking for anyone, or I'm not pretending to be anyone I'm not. I'm just really enjoying that moment. So I really do want to see you continue with this podcast, because it's like it's just going to be beautiful memories that you make that's just going to last a lifetime.
Yeah, it's really, at the end of the day, it's authenticity, like just being real. Because at the end of the day, how are you going to find out who is for you or what's for you if you're not really being you, in a sense, you know? Yeah. Nah, it's big. Let's see. Yeah, because I'm thinking about with the game, I feel like if it's something that you really enjoy, go for it. I know for me, I low-key, I had a 360 up until like sophomore year of like undergrad. And that was like COVID. So like once that started, I got my Xbox One. I was on 2K20, and my dad, he was not trying to help me get that Xbox, and I was low key like so annoyed. And he was like, "Nah, you gotta lock in, study, work, this and that." And I was like, "I can still play the game."
Yeah.
And I can't lie, it's like 3 years later, 4 years later, but I'm like, damn, he was right, low key, because I have not been touching the game. But like, I want to get back into it for real. I'm definitely trying to enjoy it, especially with summer coming up. But the game is timeless. You know what I mean?
It is.
It is. It's like it's always there with you throughout all the stages, like in life.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, COVID, when we was just trapped in the house, even there, like the friends I've had, I still talk to them to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I get on the game, I pop into their parties, and it's just like people don't realize it, but you make communities on there too. You meet people. There's a whole world out there that people don't even be knowing about. So it just be fun, like in the little times I have to enjoy myself on the game, meet new people, and just enjoy the new game.
Yeah. COVID was different because like everybody talks about how like you have the social isolation, like the social distancing and stuff, but like low key, I met so many people through COVID, and the funny thing is like I still haven't met these people to this day, like face to face in person.
Yeah, bro.
It's kind of crazy. Like Discord was popping with
Insanely popping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like I would say like it was like physically isolating, but in terms of socially, like if you was really trying to meet somebody or like talk to people, like it was 10,000 different ways you could have done it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like literally, like nah, that's even crazy that you bring up Discord, man. Like, bro, even when I used to be watching Twitch streamers, they used to be cooking in there. There's be like thousands of people in their communities.
Mm-hmm.
Just insane.
Yeah, cause I had joined like a couple Discord servers and they were like packed. And then like the funny thing is, you just hop in the voice chat, and it's straight randoms. Like you don't know any of these people, and then you just start talking one way or another. It's like, oh, what's your Instagram? And you really just know them from there.
Yep. Y'all play the same games. Y'all like the same shows. Then boom, new friend unlocked right there.
I know, and like they be living in like
Wisconsin.
Yeah. They be like, oh, I live in like Vancouver. I'm like, never been there in my life. But I was like, but if I be out there, I'll hit you up. I'll let you know. You know.
I have like a friend group I had. They all from Seattle. So if I go over there, like I gotta tap it with them.
I know. Yeah.
It's just funny, and I feel like even though it's like the first time we see each other, it's gonna be mad weird. Like
yeah.
like you don't look like how you sound or something.
Yeah, that's definitely how it is. Cause it's like you just know the voice. Like you don't know how tall they are, what they look like, how they be dressing. You have no idea at all. And then you see them in person, it's like you're a stranger, but not a stranger at the same time. You know.
Used to be up to like 2 a.m. on the game playing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's funny because it's like when you think of like your friends that you've known the longest, it's like you think about how you've grown with them, like how you've changed over time. But like these people, it's like you just met them randomly at one point. You know, maybe you talk to them consistently, maybe you don't. But it's like they're from a very specific time period in your life.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still be like connecting with those people or try to play with them?
Sometimes, like, I can't lie, a lot of people that I knew on Discord, half of them, like, I didn't really meet as much through the game. It was just, like, I was just talking, trying to meet people at the time. And, like, I have, like, Instagram and stuff, but, like, it's weird. Like, some of them, I don't even know if I'll meet them in person, you know? But, like, if I see them on Instagram or whatever, I'll be like, oh, hey, what's up, this and that, you know, catch up. But it's definitely, it's, like, a whole different vibe, for sure.
Yeah. I feel like with some of them, it's, like, that connection is always there. Like if you talk to them again, y'all have that same vibe. Some of them is like, I don't know if I'd hang out with you anymore.
Yeah.
But it still be funny.
Yeah. Because sometimes you can just pick up right where you left off.
Mm-hmm.
But then other ones, like you look back at it and it's like, why was I talking to you? It's
I'm
so
wildin',
off. I'm wildin'. Yeah. Nah, but that's all part of it. Like with, you know, kind of just like growing and changing. Mm-hmm. So like in the sense of like COVID and stuff, how would you say, like kind of going along with the theme of like growth and development, how would you say you are like today versus you 5 years ago, like peak COVID, Discord, all that?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like the first part of COVID, like when the COVID first dropped, yo, there was this
Yeah.
party that I was supposed to go to, and I got extremely sick. I probably had COVID.
Yeah.
So
I
once that happened, I was dummy tight. I was mad. I was sick. But then, like, once
Yeah.
there was like, we don't got school for like 2 weeks, I'm like, I'm loving it.
Mm-hmm.
But like that first month, I was just playing 2K, just being up late, talking to the boys. But then, like, I hit like a point where, like, once working out stopped, just at the crib eating and stuff like that, I was just like, I don't like the path I'm going down.
Mm-hmm.
So then I just made like a strict schedule. I started training like with my coach again. Then it would be books, training, then I'll just stream. And I'll just keep rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like those were like probably some of like my best times.
Yeah.
It's cause like you were saying, to the point, like, you don't even look at the analytics of when you were streaming. You was just doing it.
Yeah.
And I just kept doing it so long, uploading clips, that like one day, like one video just popped off, and like I didn't even like recognize it. And there was like 50 people that joined my like chat the next time, and I was just like, holy shit, like this looks crazy. So it's just like, for me right now, the journey that I'm on is like, I'm trying to get to that same vibe I was on then. Because it wasn't like, there wasn't no noises in my ear, like other things going on. It was just like, I was just so locked in. I just liked what I was doing, loved what I was doing, that I was just enjoying every day, just fighting through every day just to get to stream.
Yeah, consistency for sure. Because it's like, a lot of times it'd be the video that you don't expect that pops off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, when you are consistent and you're doing something that you enjoy and kind of being true to yourself, like, success will always follow at one point or another. Because they say, like, oh, like, don't chase the money, chase, I guess, like, the fulfillment, and the money will follow.
Yeah.
I really think that is the case. Like, with success, like, with anything in general, like, you try to look for it, it's gonna run, it's not gonna find you. But when you're doing it for the love of the game, you already enjoying it, and then success tend to find you.
God love the hustle. God love the game.
I love the hustle. I love the game. But yeah, so how would you say, after kind of being able to lock in COVID, how would you say that kind of looked like post-COVID, like after lockdown and stuff was over?
Like, because I was so locked in, I feel like once COVID ended and it was like my senior year and like all these events were happening, it was like, I felt like I was trying to pay back all the time that I've missed. So then with that, like, because Elden Ring dropped at the time, so I was definitely playing the game, but like more of my attention was to like doing things with friends, like catching up with people I didn't get to hang out in mad long. It would just be like, go see them.
Yeah.
So then it's just like, then you come into school now too. It's just like, it's your first year of college.
Yeah.
It's like everything's a first for you. It's just like, there's a party here, like there's an event going on here, there's people hanging out here. Like, you doing all these things that like streaming just wasn't a focus for me. And I'm not mad at it, because it's like, you know, like I got to experience things, meet new people, learn more about myself. But it's just like moments like that, I gotta like be able to keep that tunnel vision and know what really makes me happy and know what I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like COVID, like that whole lockdown era, was just like a freeze. You know, like kind of just taking a step back from how like the real world is. And then when it's over with, now it's like, damn, now you're back in the real world. This COVID stuff is done. So now it's like, you got to learn how to live life like normally again.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be online and stuff. And it definitely isn't like an adjustment period for sure.
Nah, it is. And I feel like actually thinking about it, that like gap of like senior year, or like everything going back, it was a lot of fun. Like, you haven't seen so many people in so long, and these are your first moments, like really getting to hang out with them again.
Yeah.
So it's just like all of that happening is just like, I was just lost to the sauce.
Nah, yeah, because it's like you just rediscovering it, because it was something that was just like gone for so long. Like you said, rediscovering streaming, like you're enjoying it again. It's like, it's something that you just haven't had in so long. So now that you have it again, now that you know what it's like to not have it, it's like you really gonna cherish it and make the most out of it this time around. So with like Hopkins in general, because I know you said like that first year, definitely a period of adjustment, you know, like studying, but you got functions and parties to go to. how would you say that whole development has been from freshman year to about to hit graduation now?
Man, I was cooked freshman year. I'm not gonna lie, like I don't know what I was doing. I was doing something though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like high school and stuff like that is just like it was just nothing compared to college.
Yeah, it's
So that first semester for me was like a really rough semester.
it's a rude awakening.
Yeah, like in that same like breath of me saying like I wanted to be everywhere, like it's the same thing. Like I'm trying to join these academic groups here. Like I'm trying to hang out with my friends here. I'm trying to be here, be here, be here. And I was just like really losing myself trying to do all of that. Like I was just drained all the time.
Yeah.
And it would be like the times I need to study, I'm trying to go to this club, or I was trying to interview to be in this club, or like you have to be in this meeting, and then just like all of that was just draining me. And I feel like I didn't really like until going into sophomore year and giving myself that summer to really reevaluate.
Yeah.
That's when I really started to lock in. So I'll definitely say like a lot of those habits, it was just about forming habits over time. But once you start to build your schedule out, study and all that isn't the issue. It's just about
How you
being aware and being in the moment. That's the thing for me.
Yeah, because I feel like freshman year, like you already come into it like you expecting how college is gonna be based off like whatever movie or show you watch, and it's like now that you're here, it's like you gotta make the most of it. But in a sense, that can kind of lead to being spread too thin. Like you're trying to do everything you can, but there's only so many hours in a day, and that's how it is. Like like when they have the org fairs, like all the clubs, like it's so many tables, so many stands, and it's like, damn, how am I gonna do everything? And that's like it's a dilemma because it's too many options.
I literally joined like 10 of them.
Yep.
Like,
yeah.
I joined 10. I was like, yeah, I could do all of this. I could not.
Yeah, you join, hop on the mailing list, subscribe. They send you emails when they have the events. Show up for the food and you gone.
Yeah, it's quiet. It's gone. I'm gone.
After that, unsubscribe, spam, everything.
Nah, but in all honesty, I feel like those failures I had early really like overall shaped me to be a better person. Cause like I feel like after that whole year, like I went home and I was just like, damn, like this first year of college was nothing like what I did in high school. Like if I go into this next year with that same mindset or as that same person, I'll crumble, I'll fail.
Yeah. Cause it's all about adjustment. Like high school to college, whole different game. And I think that's like, in all honesty, like my freshman year undergrad too, terrible. I'll tell you straight up. I think my GPA like first semester it was sub at 3.0, and it has you over here like, am I really built for this? Yeah, like you really kind of start to question yourself in a sense, like, is this where I'm supposed to be? Am I too dumb to be here? Yeah.
But that's what they want you to feel. Like the fact that you're here right now, you striving, you thriving, like this is what we need. This is what we need for us. Like I feel like they try to take this away from us all the time. It's just like when you didn't have it before and you didn't know, like when you come into this new space, like yes, you're gonna feel like you dumb, you don't belong, like everyone else doing some crazy things like you never had time to do. But it's just like it's like getting comfortable in the uncomfortable, and that's like been the biggest thing that I try to live with now. Because like even thinking about it, like going into sophomore year, I started picking up those same habits. I didn't like stream, but like I started working out a lot, like actually paying attention, like since I knew what classes I was gonna take, prepare for that.
And I think like that's something that I've realized with time, like looking at my own challenges that I've had to face in my life. Like sometimes you gotta be uncomfortable, or you have to be comfortable with the uncertainty and just not being comfortable, because not being comfortable, that's usually how growth is. Like growth is never easy, and in my experiences I found that like the times when I'm comfortable, that is when like I'm just stagnant, like there's nothing going on. Like comfort is what breeds complacency.
I'd say the same. Like that's all. Like one thing for me now is like I want to give myself like one new challenge to do.
Mm-hmm.
So like right now I've been heavy into running. Like I'm
Yeah.
trying to like really stick on that. Like get up to a marathon. Just next year give myself a new challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's just about always challenging yourself to like do more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, low key, that's big because I've been thinking about it. Like, I got a pair of running shoes. I haven't busted them out, but like, I definitely would want to run a marathon someday. You know, put my East African genes to the test. But I really resonate with that. I try to at least challenge myself to do things. You know, just like be somebody who I might not be right now, or be somebody who I want to be someday. You know.
But like I guess like do you struggle or do you feel like you're good at like being able to like be okay with relaxing? Because like I feel like yes, it's always good to like be uncomfortable and like be working to something, but I also feel like when you think like that, sometimes it's hard to like relax.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I have no issue relaxing. Like, I I like if it's one thing I'm gonna do, it's I'm gonna take a break and enjoy myself, even if I
Yeah.
don't have the time to do it. But I wouldn't label myself to be like a workaholic. Not
Mm-hmm.
not to say that I don't have a work ethic and I won't get stuff done, but I don't think I've ever really been somebody who will kind of just like not give myself enough time to relax and enjoy myself. If anything, it's often been the opposite issue where I spend too much time doing
Yeah.
that. Hmm. What about you?
I'd say I'm like in the middle with it.
Hmm.
Like I know like I know sophomore year, like going into summer and I didn't get like the internship I wanted.
Hmm.
I was like heartbroken. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, like what am I gonna be doing the whole summer? Da 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 da. Like
Hmm.
just like stressing about it.
Yeah.
But I feel like now, like since I kind of know what I'm gonna be doing, like after college, it's like I'm
Hmm.
okay with relaxing for right now. But
Hmm.
then like it's always in the back of my head, like I should still be doing more.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm at with it right now, if I'm
Yeah.
honest.
I mean, that's fair. I feel like in hindsight, like the interesting thing is like when you're going through whatever trials or tribulations, like when you go through something in the moment, it literally feels like like such a big issue, like it's life or death, like
Mm-hmm.
you can't get through it. But like you like after like a year or two, you look back at it in hindsight, you're like, damn, look, it wasn't even that big. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't that serious, you know. And I know that's something that I've realized. Like I've had, it's been stuff in my life where I'm like breaking down. Like I'm like, this is terrible. Like it's
Yeah.
like I'm over with. Like I'm cooked. I'm not gonna do anything. And then it works out. I get through it. And now when I think back to those times, I'm like, that was light work. Like
Yeah.
what was I tripping over? You know?
You just need to get over that hump.
Mm-hmm.
Nah,
Yeah.
it just hit everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's just my big story of Hopkins, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
just making the impossible possible. And then now that you think back on it, it's just like, oh, this is easy. Like if I would have
Yeah.
knew this from jump, it would have been over with.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing with like perspective. You know, like certain things you just have to go through because it's like had you not gone through that trial, you would not have this perspective now. You
Yeah.
know, who's to say if you were like, oh, I wish I never went through that. Had you not gone through that, who's to say that you're the same person? You know?
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's your experiences that define you, whether you want them to or not. It's the experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly. I think a lot of times when you evaluate people, you evaluate them based on their successes and their accomplishments. But in all honesty, I feel like people are more defined by their failures or
Yeah.
their shortcomings.
I define people by that and their work ethic. Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it doesn't matter like where your end goal is or all these accomplishments you have. It's just like that's the easy part, like getting that. But it's like
Mm-hmm.
how hard are you really willing to like work to
Mm-hmm.
get whatever goal it is?
Yeah.
And like when I could see that in someone, like that makes me really interested in them and like really want to see how far they're able to push themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because with that, it's like if you say I'm gonna do this and you write it down, that's like the easy part. It's the issue of can you commit to that?
Mm-hmm.
And commitment it's funny that because with commitment, I feel like people also already assume that it's locked in 24/7 all day every day. Commitment in like work doesn't look like that all the time. Some days you got a slow day, slow week,
Yeah.
but it's really the end goal, like the long term of it. You know, you don't gotta be. We're not robots. We're humans.
Not at all.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I get lost in that too.
Mm-hmm.
Not like on like a perfectionist or like perfectionist angle or anything, but like sometimes when I do fail at things, it's just like damn, like I'm a suck at this.
Mm-hmm.
Whole time like this failure isn't really big.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like something you fix here, you fix this.
Yeah.
So it's just like being able to be okay with that sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel that's somewhere I struggle.
Yeah. No, that's real because it like with certain things that are really important to you or something that you really want to succeed on, it's really easy to look at it if it doesn't go your way and kind of be like, "Damn, I should have." Like, it's very easy to look at that and the outcome of it and be like, "Damn, I failed," you know,
Yeah.
in a sense. But at the end of the day, we're not defined by any singular event, whether that is a success or a fail. Like, if I do well on a exam or whatever, let's say like 100, like yeah, it'll boost me, you know, this and that. But like, that don't mean I'm perfect. Like, it's success, you know. And I feel like it's a lot easier to do that for your successes than your failures. So I wanted to go back to the conversation we were having with BMI and Mocha, and a lot of the things that you guys talk about is kind of showing up authentically in spaces like Hopkins, which is a PWI. And I guess with that, I feel like there is kind of a fear of perception
Mm-hmm.
by others, but also kind of like the fear that you need to portray yourself a certain way because you represent a certain group, you know?
How would I say this? I feel like the longer I've been here, the more that I've tried to just come as my authentic self and just forget about any perceptions anyone has. Because in all reality, like if you was able to get here, you go to the school and you've been here for 4 years, it's just like whatever you're doing, you was good enough to be here, and you don't really have nothing to prove to anyone. And anyone who's making you think you do, like they must not think as high of themselves. And I feel like since I've applied that, I've just like started to care less of what people think and just do more of what makes me happy and just be in spaces I want to be a part of.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like when you free it and kind of leave yourself to be, you know, you. And I think it's something that you kind of develop as time goes on, you know, as you have more experiences or more proof that you are somebody who deserves to be in said spaces. And I think that kind of getting to that point where you act authentically, I feel like that is one of the best places to be, like mentally and emotionally, because you don't second guess stuff, you don't overthink it, because you're at the point where it's just like, this is me, this is how I show up. If you have a problem or if you have an issue with it, then you're just not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I feel like as I say this now, it's still a very hard task to do, and there's obviously times where like I definitely rethink I should have did something differently or not. But like I feel like everyone's always trying to prove themselves on this campus sometimes. And it can be really hard trying to make yourself fit in somewhere where like others is trying to prove themselves but you don't feel like you are. But it's just like you here to enjoy, you're here to learn more about yourself. So like why not like
Mm-hmm.
dig deep into that? I feel like some people like get it, value academics, like want to be the
Mm-hmm.
best. But it's like when you build those complexes, it's like it cuts you off from like really enjoying and really getting to know who you are.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's like something that I've low key peeped, because like when you're in spaces like these, like everybody's smart. Everybody here is smart. Like everybody's good at what they do. But I think sometimes the issue is that when you have people that primarily focus on academics and trying to do things and get it done, like I'm all for that. Do it. Do what you need to do to succeed. You know, have goals and things for yourself. But it's not everything.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like a lot of times people kind of just focus on what you can learn from a textbook, what you can learn from class, but it's still a lot more you can learn outside of a textbook in life, in those experiences that you kind of negate.
Nah, yeah, I really do agree with it. Like, I'd say, like you said, like, a lot of people here are, like, really smart, but maybe not street smart's the best word for it, but, like, there's a lot of experiences that you can get from outside or, like, interacting with people, learning how people react, having emotional intelligence. And I feel like there's people here that really lack that. And it's just like, though you can
Yeah.
ace an exam, do all these things, if you don't have that, it's just like,
Yeah.
you only, like, affecting yourself in the future.
Yeah, certain things like you not gonna learn in a textbook. Like,
Nah.
like if you walking down the street and somebody look at you and they're like, "Hey, come check it out," and all you know is the textbooks, you're not gonna know what that situation means.
Yeah,
how you
nah.
supposed to go about it.
Might be cooked.
Yep, yep, yeah. It don't matter how much you pay attention in class, but certain things you can't get from a textbook. You get from life. You know.
Yeah, like, or you can be extremely smart, and then, like, comes time for, like, an interview or, like, a person that's gonna help you with, like,
Social skills.
research, and you don't have those social skills. It's cooked for you, buddy. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not looking too good. It's like you really need to sometimes just open it up past the book, because I feel like with a lot of people, if school is what has worked for you and you have not like failed or you constantly succeed and that's all you know, that's all you get praised for, then it's very hard to give something up when it's done so much for you. But sometimes it's not a bad idea to kind of expand those horizons. If that's something that you've mastered, there's so many other things you can master too. Like interviewing, like there's people that are complete geniuses, you know, can probably write books on their subjects, topics, whatever it may be. But you throw them in a room with a stranger,
Cooked. It's over with.
yeah, that book's not gonna help you as much.
It's not.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I feel like I've always been one. Yes, the books are very important, but it's just like sometimes it really matters who you in the room with. Like, go talk to them. Like,
Yeah.
just learn more from their perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like one conversation can, like, really change something for you, change the way you think, the way you approach things, and I feel like some people just don't want to try that or do that. They just think like books is the only answer.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the thing with life and learning, because the point of life is to learn and to grow and to develop, and some of those things you can't get in a book. Some of those things you have to find out firsthand. You have to experience. But at the same time, everybody learns differently. You know, like a lot of people, you gotta learn the same lessons, but nobody learns it the same way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if your homie is like having issues with a girl, and you can see how it impacts him or whatever the outcome of it is. You learn that lesson from him. You don't got to go through it. You save yourself the time, the hassle. But he learned the lesson too. You guys learned the same lesson, but in different ways. You know,
very much in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's running their own race. They're all trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
yeah,
like, kind of, I wanted to ask you about this. Like, how has your perception or even your ability to be your authentic self changed since coming to this new university?
You know, I'd say that was something that I definitely had to wrestle with, because in all honesty, I definitely was not as authentic with myself and with other people when I was in undergrad. Very much kind of kept to myself. Maybe had like a couple of close friends, but I was not like if you told me that I was gonna have a podcast, no, not me. Like even the way that I present now, it's been a lot of growth that's been done, and part of that was through my own life and like the experiences that shaped me into who I was, but also therapy. I think that was one of the things, because it really forces you to do the inner work, and it was a lot of inner work that I needed to do for myself that I kind of avoided. And then it had just gotten to the point where it's like, I can't really avoid this, because now it's starting to influence everything that I do, how I live my life. And so it got to the point where after I was able to do that inner work and kind of look at myself and really be able to be authentic with myself first, that was when it had gotten to the point where it's like, okay, now I can be authentic with other people. You know, I think the biggest thing is that oftentimes life is very social, and you're always going to be surrounded by people. You always have relationships or interactions. You can't avoid people. Humans are not you're not meant to be isolated. Humans are social creatures. But I think a lot of the times what we see in others and how they interact and how they grow, you base it off of their interactions with other people. And those are really the results of it. But those results are kind of formed by the interactions you have with yourself, the time you spend on your own, and how comfortable you really are with yourself. So I don't think, I might be just generalizing, but in my own experiences, I have found that my authenticity, or the way that I present to others, it would not be possible, or it would never have happened had I not been able to have that authenticity with myself first.
Nah, yeah, just emphasizing that same point. I feel like I definitely went on a similar journey, like bringing this point up again, like freshman year, like really seeing myself go from that person that's always getting 100 on an exam, always getting 100 on an exam, and then you like, damn, did I just fail this exam? Like me? Like that was me that did that just now? Like it just made me like really just get into self-doubt. Like, am I really that smart? Am I really who I say I am? And it was just like going to Mocha, being in BMI, and they're like having these mental health talks, like asking who needs help, who needs this. Like moments like that really made me start to really rethink myself, and like really think, am I gonna allow myself to go down this rabbit hole, or am I gonna address this and like try to be better than what I was in the past?
Yeah, because that's the thing with like the inner work that you have to do on yourself. It never ends. Like it's always there, and I feel like, at least with me, it had gotten to a point where I just really ignored it because it didn't really impact me. But like you said, once it gets to the point where it's kind of just staring at you in the face and you can't really avoid it, and it has to be done, then you kind of have to tackle it. You can't really just ignore it.
Yeah, like I know like the big thing we was just talking about is that like a lot of students here like don't really try to talk to people or have like conversations. I feel like one thing that was drowning me out from like really sitting down with myself was like hanging out with other people, trying to be in all these clubs. So it's like by the time I did get home and I'm with myself, I just want to sleep, just wake up for the next day. So it's like I was always living to do something else, but I wasn't taking the time to be with myself. So I really like that point that you made of like really taking the time to like learn who you are and like build that foundation within yourself.
Yeah, I honestly, like, that's the biggest thing, and I know that comes easier for some people than others, being able to spend the time on your own, you know, time by yourself, whether that's in your thoughts or just to kind of relax. But I feel like a lot of the things that you spend on your own, like a lot of the time that you spend, a lot of the work that you do, it pays dividends. Like, you may not see how it works, but it really does work, because at the end of the day, you yourself are a person. So nobody knows you as well as you do. So if you get to know yourself better, and you can really kind of understand why you think the way you do, who you are, then it just makes it easier to kind of go towards others, because you don't know everybody, you don't know how they operate. Everybody is their own person. But if you don't have a solid grasp on who you are yourself, how can you hope to find somebody else who is already an enigma?
Yep. That's really nice.
Yeah. I wanted to go back to, you were talking about BMI and Mocha, and I guess you talked about how they had like mental health like seminars and everything. How would you say being in that space, because I take it you guys had conversations about what it might mean to be like a man of color, a black man, or kind of just what masculinity is?
I mean, like, one of the biggest things from BMI that I really liked, there was someone named Clifton, and like he would try to always do these like alumni panels of like students who've been here in the past, been in our shoes, and just like show us the things that they're doing now. And I feel like when you're able to see like people of color in high positions, it makes you like really rethink certain things. So like going to like your identity and who you are, it's just like can't be the same guy that like is making jokes with us right now who's doing this amazing position, because then it just like it makes you start to be like why do I have to perform to be someone that I'm really not, when like there's people that are already doing the things I want to do, the things that I think are cool, and they're still normal people. And it's like I was having the same conversation with like some of the guys, just like y'all are really gonna be the next doctors, and it's just like I cannot take y'all serious.
Yeah.
Like I remember being a kid going into the doctor's office, I'm like, oh, this is like a serious
Yeah.
guy, like he knows what he's talking about, he's not playing. But then it's just like I'm looking at some of y'all, like y'all the most unserious people I know.
You gonna walk in, I'm wildin'.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like I feel like knowing that, it just made me start to like really think like, you know, life's not that deep. Like we're all normal people, we're all figuring it out, we're all just trying to live the best life that we can.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, back to your point about how a lot of times you don't see people of color in like high positions, and oftentimes when you do, like they present differently, or like you have to portray yourself a certain way to get to that. That's why I low-key love the Boondocks. Like that show is so funny, especially like the lawyer, I think Tom.
Yeah.
Like it's so funny because like a lot of times when you think of like somebody who's in a high position of power, like somebody who's accomplished or successful, that might be like a person of color, like you think of like Tom, like that's exactly who you think of. But I think something that I've seen as I've gotten older is that it's up to you who you present as. If you want to be a Tom, if you want to be a Tom and Uncle Ruckus, or like Huey and Riley, like at the end of the day, you'll be the person who's up there.
Yeah.
So you don't have to, present a certain way.
Yeah, I feel like one of the biggest things that like was really pounding my head like last summer was like, since I've been growing my hair out, you know, I'm about to go into this predominantly white space, this job here. We already know like the stereotypes out there about being a black person. And it's like I'm about to come in with like cornrows, be doing my hair different designs and shit. I was panicking. I was like, I really didn't know what to do, but like in the back of my head, I was just like, bro, like I really don't want to cut my hair on some shit, because it's just like I love my hair. I love how it looks. Like it's just like, does my hair have to do anything with how smart I am? Yeah, I just decided to just go to work with my hair done in cornrows. Just said, just try something new. And yeah, like no one said anything to me. The thing that I was pressuring the most wasn't what I was met with. And it's like, though this is just one company, and like maybe it would have been different if I went somewhere else, I'm willing to, mess around and find out what happens, because it's just like, I know I would have been 10 years down the line, like thinking about this moment, like me cutting my hair just to please others, and I would have been mad at myself. So I'm happy with the decision I made. And I feel like it's just cool to see people in high positions being themselves, being normal, and just making it more okay that we're not seen as strange or bad people, and we're normal just like everyone else, and we should be treated the same way.
Yeah. And I think one of the things you might have touched on was like being like a black man or like a person of color, like you get judged before you say anything, before you open your mouth. And like part of that, like you said, with the hair, like that is something that you definitely, like people will look at you differently, especially whether that's like interviewers, recruiters, and everything. And I think it's great that you were able to, take back that power and take control of it in a sense. And that goes into authenticity and showing up. And I think one of the best things about growing professionally, doing more, being more accomplished, is that after a while, when you get to the point, like you have more leverage in a sense. Like you have the right to bargain, because it's like if you are the best at what you do, and people maybe don't accept you for something as insignificant as like your hair or how you look, at the end of the day, now you have the bargaining chips. You can be like, all right, you're not getting me,
Yeah. That's honestly where I'm at now. It's just like, I know I'm hardworking. I know my hair doesn't define how I work. So it's just like, I'm willing to bet the odds on myself.
Yeah. And that hair thing, I could put a whole episode about that because like,
Nah, you definitely should. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, because it's a whole thing. Like there's like it's an issue on both sides because you have like recruiters or like America and like kind of the notions of like being a black man and how you present. But at the same time, like I have my own side of it being like an immigrant, like being African, and like I could tell you, like my parents, like having my hair down, having it twisted, like you already hear so much from them. So kind of being in the same space of being judged by another side of your life, it definitely impacts you after some time.
Nah, yeah, my parents definitely still hate my hair. They keep telling me I should cut it, but
Yeah,
this is whatever.
yeah,
They say the same thing.
yeah.
But I feel like it's your own journey to live. It's your own journey to explore. So
It is. It is. And I think it wasn't until I kind of had to take that step and figure out my own journey and do it myself, regardless of what anybody and everybody had to say, that I was able to kind of reclaim the power that I had in my own life and be able to live authentically. Because sometimes, at the end of the day, like we said, you can't make everybody happy.
yeah,
Like no matter what the decision you make, somebody won't be a fan of it.
yeah,
You know, I think the biggest thing is at the end of the day, is it an action that you're proud of? Is it an action that you stand by? You know.
yeah. Just kind of going off of that. Like I know, like this past year for me, like one of the biggest things that I keep doing is like 10 years from now, like looking back on this decision, like how would I have felt? And I don't know. I just feel like I want to continue to like move like that. Cause like I feel like there's like a lot of people that live with that like, what if I did this? And I really just don't want to have things I look back at and have that feeling for myself. I'd rather like do something crash and burn or it not end how I want it to end, but I still tried it and like saw it through. So I don't know. That's just been something I've been thinking about.
Yeah. No, I think that's big. Like being more intentional in a sense and
Yeah.
really trying to act more like in alignment with who you are and who your values, because a lot of people live lives that they don't like. You know,
Yeah.
you make decisions that you don't like, whether it's because of influence from other people or pressure to be perceived a certain way or to just be a certain someone, you know. And I think like kind of getting to that point of authenticity and, you know, being a genuine person is like once you get to that point, life just starts to feel so much more smooth, like it feels natural, because at the end of the day you know that you're living life on your own terms. Yeah. So with IB, who is IB? What would you say are some of the biggest things that you value about yourself?
I'd say the thing that I value the most is like being level headed. Obviously, I'm not always level headed, but I feel like I really like to bring joy to any room I enter. So I can be very playful at times. So I really like that I do that a lot. Because I feel like life isn't that deep, you know?
It really isn't.
Like, I feel like, yes, like, we all got our own struggles we're going through, but it's just like any room that you could be in, you don't know what anyone's going through. It's just, it's like, why do we all have to be so negative? Like, why can't we all try to make everyone laugh, make everyone smile? So I feel like defining myself is just like a joyful person who likes to bring that joy to everyone else.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. You know, I think you definitely do show up authentically, and I feel like you definitely you could crack a joke for real. You know, and I really resonate with that because that's something that I try to do too. Because at the end of the day, life is life. It's not that serious. And like with that too, like there's so much serious stuff going on. Like there's everything else that you have to be locked in for, places you have to perform, whether that's school or work. So why can you not just take that step back and kind of enjoy it from a more, you know, like fun lens?
Yeah.
I think that is big. where would you say this kind of like enjoyment to kind of live life and not really be as serious, like how did that kind of develop?
I mean, I'm sure as you may know, a lot of people, if they were to describe me, I just like am just naturally very playful. So I feel like it's just been since I was a kid having that. But then it's just like coming into newer spaces when it's just like people are being so serious, just being like, whoa, like this is throwing me off.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like more of me like finding that authentic self
Mm-hmm.
has been in that journey of like getting to that child that I used to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of like rediscovering it. And this is actually interesting because this was something in one of my classes yesterday. We were talking about personality, and I think my professor was saying that generally personality stays consistent as you go through life, like more or less as a kid versus to who you are now. It's generally pretty consistent. Would you say that's true for you?
Yeah, I would agree. And I feel like coming into a new space where like there's so much unknown, it gives you that thing like this like I can't be
Yeah.
playing here. Like this
Mm-hmm.
is not a joke.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the moments when I'm not performing at my best are the moments when I'm taking things way too seriously. So it's like even when like I'm studying for an exam and I really feel like I can't do it, I like I'm gonna fail, da 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 da. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like okay, let me go on like a 10-minute walk, change
Yeah.
my whole
Mm-hmm.
environment, area, like start thinking about new things. I feel like those moments is what like gives me life to like really focus again.
Yeah, yeah, kind of like grounding yourself. And I agree with that because, like, the thing with me, like, one thing about me, like, it doesn't matter if I'm having a great day or if I'm, like, in the trenches, I'm gonna crack me a joke. Like,
Yeah.
laughter and humor is, like, I think one of the things I pride myself on, too. And I feel like it just makes it a lot easier. Not necessarily in the sense of, like, making the situation less difficult, but just, like you said, changing the outlook, changing how you see it because I feel like when you really take things super seriously and kind of expect to fail, or if you're kind of just so wrapped up on the factors in the situation that you can't really think as clearly, being able to take a step back and just kind of see that, like, in the grand scheme of things, it's not as big or it's
Mm-hmm.
not as important like there's other things, it definitely helps.
Nah, I definitely agree with that. And I feel like that's what I was back to my point earlier. Like it's okay to fail at things sometimes. Like it could even be funny to do something wrong and then like go at it again because you probably do it even better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like you got to embrace failure. Like nothing you're gonna do is just gonna always be right or it's gonna be the outcome that you want. But you got to be able to look at that failure and be like, what can I dissect from this to like help myself grow in the future?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I at a place like Hopkins, like nobody wants to think about failure, but the thing is, failure is one of the only things that's guaranteed in life.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing you cannot be great at everything you do. Like, that's just not how
Mm-hmm.
it works. That's not what being human is. And I think once you kind of learn to accept that failure is a reality, you kind of look at it differently. Like I laugh at all my failures now. Like I have no issue. Like I tell people like I fail and like when I fail spectacularly.
Oh yeah.
Like those are the best stories. Like when you
Mm-hmm.
think back and like it's the funniest thing, because it's like wow, like I really had no idea what I was doing, and you just crash and burn. You know, would you say that with that failure and kind of navigating failure in a sense with like maybe the emotions that come from it, would you say that expressing that emotion can be difficult, whether it's on your own or around other people?
Yeah, I'll definitely say in both environments. But like another to that point, or like obviously you shouldn't like just start telling everyone, "Oh, I'm feeling here, I'm feeling here."
Mm-hmm.
But like when you have like genuine friends, like you shouldn't be afraid to like talk to them. Like definitely if you're failing, like you should be open about it. Like talk to people, try to find that leeway. Cause if you just hold up all this failure or like the things that you're stuck on, the things that
Mm-hmm.
you're uncertain about, like you'll just be stuck in your own head and your own head could be your worst enemy at times. So it's really important that like you do speak to someone about the issues that you have going on, or just like hear other people's opinions on like the trajectory that you're on, and like what do you view yourself being?
Yeah, and I think that's big because I know me personally, like, I have times where I can be my own worst critic, like, be hypercritical of everything that I do. And with failure, it's not something that, like, a singular failure does not define you as an individual, you know? And I think that's something that I've struggled with in the past for sure, kind of attributing my entire character and who I am to one failure that I've had.
Yeah.
And I think being able to have those conversations is important, especially with people that you trust. Because, like, if you take a step back and think about it, you failed at something, let's say. If you keep it to yourself, you're really just trying to fail again because you were the one that failed. If you don't tell anybody, you failed it. You're not gonna magically come up with the answer, you know. So I think being able to have people or spaces to talk to is what really goes a long way in being able to overcome failure and learn from it.
I feel like that's like the biggest thing that I try to do is just like, yes, like you could take your little moment, beat yourself up because you're human. Like it's gonna happen regardless. But it's just like, if there's an answer to make this better, if there's a way that you can grow, like go get that help. Like don't bottle it up, because the more you bottle it up, when it explodes, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be real bad.
It'll be worse than the crash and burn from the failure for sure. Like like the longer you hold it in, the worse it can tend to be. And I think taking that step to seeking help is something that everybody definitely needs, you know? Just being able to kind of take a step out of your comfort zone and realize that sometimes you don't have the answers. Sometimes you might need to go to somebody else for the answers. Yeah. In line with that, seeking help and kind of being able to express emotion, is there anything that you wish somebody had told you, maybe like, let's say COVID, like 5 years ago?
That's actually a good question. Something I wish someone, in like what sense? Like what do you mean by that?
In the sense of like whether it comes to expressing your emotions as a man, as a black man, or just kind of being able to take that step to seek help.
Okay. I'll definitely say like have the ability to take a step back from things. I feel like one thing that I've been able to oh my gosh, excuse me.
You good.
One thing I've been able to do that's really helped me a lot is like meditate. So like, you know, even when you're going through the worst of times, like finding those 5 minutes, 10 minutes, if you could just meditate, not even think about the situation that's going on, coming back into a situation with a fresh lens will be so much more helpful for you than just like trying to continuously power through and not really have an answer and fail and crash and burn, as we've been talking about.
Yeah, I think that's big because a lot of the times people will, you kind of just keep trying and trying and trying and trying the same, like way over and over again, but it's not gonna work. So sometimes you definitely need to take that step back, look at the bigger picture, you know, kind of try to approach it from a different angle for sure. But let me see. I think that might be everything for today. Is there anything that you'd like to, you know, add on or say that maybe we didn't really cover? Anything that just speaks to you?
I guess like the one thing I'd like to say before we end is just like I think everyone should get really comfortable with themselves and be okay with failing and fail early so we can succeed later.
Yeah, for one thing, because much like failure is a reality in life, success is really an uncertainty until failure comes into the picture. You cannot succeed unless you have failed. But I think that's where we're gonna wrap up for today. If you'd like to plug in your Twitch, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever you really want to, whatever you really want to put in there.
pull up to the Twitch streams. See me on TikTok at IB Buckets. We definitely gonna have to run this back again because it has so much fun. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you for popping up on the episode. First guest star down. Might be coming back for part 2, but I will put in his TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, whatever in the bio, so go follow and subscribe.